Right, speaking of social media though, Twitter, of course, we love it. We love Twitter on this show, don't we? We are a big Twitter fan. So you might know Nibellion. If you're a gaming Twitter user, you might know Nibellion. So if you're someone that likes to keep up with the gaming news, there's a fairly good chance you're going to know Nibellion. He doesn't believe Twitter has been well run for a long while now, and he thinks that this change will not change with Elon Musk. Basically, he's not a fan, so he's thinking about, well, he's not even thinking about it, he's shutting down his Twitter account because he just doesn't want Elon Musk involved in his whole facade. So he's absolutely out of it. Now, James, what do you think to Nibellion taking a bit of a Twitter strike because of Elon Musk?
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Out of all, I mean, there's lots of places where you can get kind of your news online. Jinx is a very good one.
Yeah. Shout out.
But there's lots of people online that you cannot necessarily follow for kind of up-to-date news. And I think Nibellion was one of those trustworthy sources that you could rely on by following, and that you'd know that everything that he was putting out was particularly useful. There'll obviously be people that are clout chasing, that are kind of putting news up that doesn't lead anywhere.
Yeah.
Nibellion isn't one of them. And so it's, if anything, if he is leaving for whatever reasons, Twitter is definitely especially Twitter for gaming fans, is definitely a poorer place by not having him on there.
Definitely. It's interesting how the influence of one person can change your mind and change your mindset and be like, I don't want to be involved with that. But I mean, it opens up other platforms. I mean, we have got multiple platforms in this world now, which is good. But I think, it's quite a strong move though.
Well, I know that from memory, from what I'd read, I think Nibellion had also tried to set up like a Patreon.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was also driven by the fact that he did such a fantastic job, but it obviously took a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was whether or not he could afford to keep doing what he was doing. So it's possible you might see him pop up again in some sort of Patreon facility or not. But it's, as I said, it's a poorer place by not having him on there. There's lots of places where you can get your news. It's just a shame that there's one less valuable resource to find that now.
Yeah, and I think, like you said earlier, there's a lot of rumours that go around, aren't there? There's a lot of leaks that go around, and it's knowing who you can trust. So just to find that one creator and that one kind of person to go to that is on the ball and you can trust it's really great.
Yeah, especially when like I've personally used Nibellion quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'll have a list of people that I'll kind of follow on Twitter that I'll kind of look for kind of breaking news. He was one of them that was on there, especially during kind of big events like at E3 or kind of the game show that's in December. The other useful thing, at least for journalists as well, is that having someone else that is keeping up to date with all that info as you're kind of racing through the news as it's happening and writing it up, to have someone else that's kind of there that you can also rely on to be like, did I miss anything? Again, it's a shame that someone that was so dependable for kind of good, solid news is leaving the platform.
It'll be interesting to see if people may follow suit, like people that like yourself that maybe follow him and think, actually, I'm going to do the same.
I mean, there's lots of other people that I've seen since all the kind of recent news around Twitter that have said, like, I'm not sure whether or not I would want to be on here, or I'm not sure I would necessarily pay for being kind of a blue tick verified user.
Yes.
So it might be that other people follow suit, or other people don't necessarily leave the platform but just aren't willing to kind of have that blue tick for a price, and I think that's also an issue.
Absolutely. And for those of you that don't know, basically Elon Musk is starting a $20 charge for a verification subscription, otherwise your blue tick is gone. So in order to keep your blue tick next to your name, which is something that we've all earned by being a public figure, this is planned and hopefully it doesn't go to fruition, but it is planned to happen. And with the influence that he has, if you do have a blue tick, you might be paying at $20 a month in order to keep it there. I mean, you earn the verification as a creator, as a public figure, as a celebrity, I suppose, to be verified. Having to pay for it, that just sounds absolutely crazy, right?
It does. I think I'm less concerned about the ability to pay for it and more about the problems that crop up for people that pay for verification that might be looking to try and imitate others, and where that leads. I think that's a more dangerous proposition. It's to go back to Nibellion, he's left his account up, it's just locked, he's just not going to use it, but that's because he doesn't want any imitators.
Yeah.
And who's to say that other people wouldn't be able to very easily pay the money to be a verified source that is imitating someone else and is putting out misinformation or worse? It just feels like a slippery slope.
Yes, it definitely. I mean, it seems like a really strange way to go, because the last thing you think about, you think social media, as it is a free platform of free speech and all that, so you'd think you wouldn't have to use your money to make sure that you're recognised on Twitter, really.
No, and it might not happen.
No.
I imagine that there's probably lots of ideas that go around Elon Musk's head that are kind of just sort of happen and get announced and then never really come to fruition. So hopefully this is one of them.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I hope so as well. But hopefully, well, if we see you having a blue tick, you might having to pay for yours, James. You never know. In the future.
If I can put my pay up, then maybe.
Then I'll do it. I'll do it.